Hey guys, this is the Hess Knight Angel. I just wanted to do a kind of redesign because I've been seeing a lot of those for sorry, I can't talk. For Yandere Simulator. And I've been wanting to redesign Usagi. So I'm going to do two different designs. One would be if I followed more closely to the original design for the Crystal reboot, and one would be if in America we did Sailor Moon reboot done by the fans, similar to like Voltron or She-Ra, where it's diehard fans of the series who are son of a goat. Sorry, hit my elbow on something. Diehard fans of the series who are creating something they remember by adding more diversity to it. So I'm going to start with the redraw of what I would make. And because the sailor uniforms and that would largely be the same to these, I'm just going to draw her civilian form. Since Reboot like Crystal would keep the same hero form. But I'm looking more for how I would change the overall design. One thing I am keeping very much in my mind here is like little offshoots from the characters. Like in the anime and manga, they mention that Usagi is a crybaby, which we like see more in the 90s anime, or we hear that she's apparently the chubbiest of the characters, but we don't really see that because she's stick thin. And I'm sorry if I don't draw chubby characters while I'm working on it. And this is just the best way I know how to get the proportions correct. Honestly, I think Usagi would be really cute as a chubbier character rather than a stick thin one. And I really don't have a lot to like add here commentary wise because of this would basically just be a redesign to Crystal, while the next one would be like a series and character overlook of how I would change the characters. So I'm adding how I've seen buns done more realistically. And the signature part in her hair. I actually already did a redesign similar to this, but I wasn't able to add the commentary on because my editing skills suck, and it ended up being an hour long. And I didn't want to have to make you guys sit through an hour long of silence. Since again her school uniform would be largely the same, I'm just going to create a more casual look that I would have her wear. Like, she could have different, like, shirts underneath, like, a hoodie to change up her look, but still have this basic outfit. Always found it weird that Usagi didn't really have any accessories, because she seems like the type that would bend rules to just the tiniest bit. To express herself. And the way I'm doing this is adding a jacket onto her school uniform. I never liked how short the skirts are, so if I were to redesign the show, and once I do my character redesign, one of the first things to change in the sailor uniform is going to be, come on computer, the shorts. Now turning my attention to the face, I'm going to go for more of a face style like the 90s anime. Because when most people think of Sailor Moon, they think of that. And a little accessory. Yeah. So right, again, with this first one, I'm just trying to make the regular Usagi design just a tad bit more interesting, keeping her usual colors, giving her more chubby build to be accurate to how the other characters describe her, and just in general trying to do right by the character. Honestly, I've loved Sailor Moon ever since I was a kid. I'm gonna go off on a little tangent so you can mute me until I get onto the other drawing, if you'd like to listen to music and not listen to me ramble about my childhood. So I actually first saw Sailor Moon at a extremely young age. I couldn't have been younger than 6 because I remember watching it at the house I just moved out of. That's now just my parents' house instead of my house. Basically, hold on, I gotta plug my laptop in. We would go to this video store every so often. It was like once a week that we'd go, and it was just a way for our parents to see new things and keep us entertained. One of the VHS tapes, because that's what they used at this particular store, was VHS tapes, was Sailor Moon. I couldn't read at the time, but I recognized the moon symbol. And so every other time we went, I would check out the Sailor Moon movie. It wasn't even a movie, it was the very first episode. And keep in mind, this was like early 2000s, so it was the original dub, so I originally knew her as Serena, not Sailor Moon. And it was the very first episode, and I would just watch it over and over again. So, years later, I'm going through the internet looking for something to watch. I was about middle school. Probably 7th grade. And the old Sailor Moon anime pops into my head, but I can't remember what it was called. I managed to easily find it because it was Sailor Moon. Just describing the main character will make it an easy find. And I ended up watching the entire dub. At this point, I didn't realize they would change the names or anything, or that there was more than one season. So the original dub didn't go further than the 4th series, or the 4th season, or however you want to refer to it as. So I was confused when I saw this character named Saya, or who Usagi was referring to. Finally, I looked it up and realized there was an entire last season. Characters had more applicable names. There were jokes I missed out on. There were missing episodes. And so I watched the entire series subbed. And eventually I got to Sailor Stars. It was really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I was actually super hyped for Crystal because at the time I was really going through something, and that was one of the only things that kept me going was, well, I gotta survive at least long enough to see the reboot. Only for the reboot to turn out to be trash! The story and the voice actors are fine. Because the story is basically the manga story with a few deviations here and there. And the voice actors, they redid the original series dub with the new voice actors. It's just the art does not flow well animated. Like, it's not terrible, it's just not my cup of tea. And obviously it's like not what the fans want to expect, seeing as they keep using the old 90s version for all the merch coming out. palette's nice, so I'm probably going to, well, this has a lot of motifs from the 90s/80s one. I am probably going to go more with crystals palette, just because that's more applicable to modern audiences than the retro colors. I honestly think if they want to do what Crystal did, they should have just stuck with a similar style to the 90s, like what the new Sailor Moon movie's looks like it's gonna do. It looks like it's the crystal palette, but with the 90s drawing aesthetics. That'll do for now. I'm not drawing the hands because I don't want to spend forever on this design because I have a second design I want to do. So we're just going to do a quick color shade. I forgot to do something I like to do on drawings to make the neck and head look more cohesive. So again, we're moving on to the colors, which are more of the, dang it, I'm still on the top layer, which have the crystal palette. Sounds like I'm talking about makeup. I am also, like, I'm kind of revitalizing the channel again, or I'm like attempting to, so there's going to be more videos like this, and once I can figure out how to get my camera set up in a way where I can see a mirror, I'm going to do makeup looks based on characters like Sailor Moon. So, like, using their colors or a look I could see them wearing. This channel is basically a place for me to have fun, though I'm hoping I can promote some of my own work. Like, if you look at my Tumblr right now, I have commissions open. What up? And if you want to support my art in general, I would strongly say please go order a commission from me. And I'll link my Tumblr down below. But it's just Hessenite Angel art. I have a account more for art, and then one more for just me to reblog weird stuff. So the art one is Hessenite Angel art. The one, if you just want to see what I'm into, I don't actually use it that often. I mostly use it to browse Tumblr. That's my main account, so I'm not really doing anything to change that fact. yeah, I have commissions open, and would really appreciate anybody who'd be willing or wanting to pay for this type of art until I can get a new job, because Amazonian fired me. I won't get into why. I'll save it for an animated or animatic type thing sometime, because I do want to do those, because I have a lot of semi-crazy stories about my life. Like fears, talking about mental illness, dogs, cats. If you hear anything sound like scratching or me in general, just go silent or like yell at something. I share a room at my sister's house with her, one of her cats. And like I agreed and was the one who was just like, she should sleep in my room instead of causing fights with the other two. And it helps that I kind of use her as an anxiety cat, and by that I mean when I get anxious in the middle of the night, I pet her. She's a black cat like Luna. And for a while I was actually going to take her from my sister, but my sister's... By take, I mean I was going to adopt her from my sister, but my sister's too attached now for that. Yeah, so if you hear me yelling at a cat or say the name Lucina, it's my sister's pet who's my roommate. As weird as that sounds. I'm working on the highlights. Sorry if my voice sounds weird or gravelly or anything. I don't know where my mic is. So we just got my computer's microphone until I can find it. So fun fact, when I originally saw the crystal design, I actually was just like, ooh, that's a bold choice. Because it was so different and modern, and all the promotional art made it seem like they were just going to redo the series, but with the old designs, which I think people would have accepted easier. But I reserved judgment, like it might look different in motion. Oh, and it did. It looked different. I think it actually looks better still than in motion, because it just doesn't look right in motion, you know? And I say that as somebody who wants to animate for a living. One of the first steps to learning animation is knowing what looks good in motion. And take every criticism I say about Crystal with a grain of salt, because it could just be my nostalgia for the original series getting in the way. And I can accept that that could be the reason why I don't like it. But I think they could have handled all that a lot better than they did. Once I get better at editing, these will be more speed draws with me talking over. Don't mind how they did the eyes. I just have a certain way I like to do eyes that's actually like very similar, but if you're gonna do more flat colors like this on the body, to me it makes sense to not have super blended eyes. Or else you risk it looking a little odd. Alright. Now we're gonna work on the eyes that everybody thinks of when they see Sailor Moon, which is see how much better that's looking already. Old face, fresh look. And I realized they were trying to make it more modern and appeal to the more modern audience, and I don't know Japanese enough to say how the Japanese fans responded. Just based off of how any American I've talked to has responded. I can't say it was well received by the American audience. Maybe in Japan it was a total hit. But at least for the States, it's left something to be desired. And I assume it did in Japan also, seeing as they are still using the old 90s designs. I realize there may be some issues with how I'm drawing or shading this character, because I generally draw really thin characters because I have to use myself for a reference more often than not. And I am a stick. So I apologize to anybody if I am not doing well in her body type, I tried my best and look at a bunch of references. My favorite like reference for stuff like this is I love Kristen, formerly of Ladylike and currently of the Kitchen and Jordan show. Her and my sister are my biggest like references when it comes to more plus size girls. Finish the little bunny emblem. Yeah. So this is how I would redo her in Crystal. If I had been hired by the team on Crystal to redesign Usagi, and now for my more modern reboot interpretation. So this is going to be a lot more my art style and a lot more my character ideas. So one of the ideas this comes from is I love seeing Black Sailor Moon fan art. I jokingly call it Afro Moon, but I realize that can be offensive, so I apologize to anybody watching if they don't like it calling that, but it's just a how I save it in my computer to easily locate it. Because like Black Moon and Sailor Moon has bad connotations because of the Black Moon clan. And I'm generally just like more diverse characters. There is her bust, and then I have a little toothbrush because I am terrible at drawing ethnic hair. So I obviously use Clip Studio, and I got this brush off of their assets thing. It was a free brush, so if anybody like me wants to draw accurate curly hair like this, it is a quick and easy cheat. And I will be using a old skin tone thing for her skin tone colors, just so I can shade it correctly, because I don't trust myself enough to do it in a way that would be accurate. And I'm sure I'm doing some things like with the body type, because I am not a lovely curvy woman like I'm drawing Sailor Moon to be. Okay, now let's get to work on the outfit. So this Sailor Moon, as you can probably guess from how I've been talking, is a black Sailor Moon. And one thing I would do as a more modern reboot is I would actually have it set in a more Big Hero 6 type thing. So like San Fran Okios, to where you could have a bunch of mixed characters. So they could all keep their Japanese names, but still be different mixed ethnicities. Like Sailor Moon would be in Japanese, African girl. Maybe it's just me, I just associate the moon with more shy characters. Like if I were to make a moon entity, I'd make them shy, but I would still want to keep to the original Usagi character. So I'd probably keep her friendly and outgoing and a crybaby, because I got my sister to watch Sailor Moon and she loved that Usagi was very flawed, and she stayed flawed and was never really this perfect hero, which is what I've always loved about the character. Is in the end, she's matured and she's changed, but she's still that dorky kid at heart that we meet at the beginning of the series. She never really stopped being a crybaby, but she got braver. She got to be friends with people she never would have considered being friends with before. And there is no way she was straight even back then. And I stand by that statement. So I'm just finishing up the sketch with general details here. I apologize for how I'm drawing the lips. It's the only way I know how to draw lips like this, and I think it looks cute, especially on characters like Usagi. Really, the big thing I like to do here is just lean into her more pun of Rabbit on the Moon. So, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to a actual redraw of the sailor uniform today. So I'll have to save that for a different video, maybe after I do a basic character. I hate how this hairline's looking. Basic character designs of like casual / school looks for all the senshi. I will do a group, or at least the inners. Version of how I would do their senshi looks, which is basically I would add more elements because ultimately these are young girls. They are meant to be 14, so I would actually age them up a bit if I were to do a reboot like this for the series. One of the first things I would do is age the girls up to high school, because why should 14-year-olds deal with this? And it would help, like, I know a bunch of the Sailor Moon fans now are older than that, but part of what makes Sailor Moon is she's still in high school. Well, still in school, so I would just have her in high school, and then if I were to keep the same season structure, Stars would just be in college instead of high school. Yeah, and one of the big changes I will be making to the uniforms when it comes to the sailor uniforms is their revealing nature. In the case that they will probably be wearing shorts. Those. Well, this is the best, unfortunately, I can do for her hair getting pulled. Maybe I can do better. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm sorry to anybody of black descent. I am terrible, but I love this. Just search up Black Sailor Moon. You'll see tons of better versions of what I'm trying to do. Because Black Sailor Moon is a beautiful and gorgeous thing. I will say, just because I'm not confined to outlines. I do better in my sketchbook, and I'll do a sketchbook tour of one of them eventually, because I do draw this version of Sailor Moon a lot in there. But because I'm not worrying about outlines when it comes to shading and stuff, I generally just go ham. So this Sailor Moon would be probably a freshman in high school, or a grade 9, grade 10, whenever you would enter high school. I'd probably do grade 10 just because that's more common around the world. Get her lovely neck in there. Yes, so she'd probably be just barely in high school. And just be a kind, fun-loving character who would, as usual, be at odds with Mamoru, who would, for the sake to make it less creepy for me, would be a upperclassman of hers, because somebody way above her age group. I don't understand why he was well, I understand, because obviously they had the connection of the past lives. But, doesn't make any less creepy. Yeah, I'm just highly leaning into her kind of celestial motifs. I also think like these hoodie type dresses are adorable, and I love baggy clothes on me and on other people in general, which is why I've put her in more of this baggy look. I'm not saying that thicker girls should have to wear this type of thing. Wear what you want, however you feel comfortable, and if anybody says otherwise, they suck. You're beautiful no matter what. I just really like drawing and wearing this type of style, because I dress for comfort rather than fashion. I am sorry about this hand. Starting to look halfway decent till I got to the pinky banana. Big thing about my version of Sailor Moon is she would obviously be a beautiful curvy woman of color. with a heart of gold. But the next video I'll probably get the chance to draw Sailor Moon as Sailor Moon. Because I would, to make the characters less obvious in their sailor forms, I would 100% have Sailor Moon and friends be have different hair colors when they transformed. And hers would lean into the fact that albino bunnies that thought stopped halfway through. Basically, I would make her have red eyes and white hair. Make her look more like the stereotypical bunny, because I find myself hilarious. Looking good. Going over to my shader thing, my anime skin palette. Because, oh, this was the original idea yeah. My Sailor Moon looks similar to this, but with this hair texture. Yeah. So first I color in her top lip, then under her eyes. Oh, I was coloring on the wrong layer and forgot to create a layer. I'm sorry, my queen. Turn off your headsets for a second if you hate drinking noises. I'm getting thirsty. And we're back. Back to the under eyes. Okay, and the criticism I expect is I'm going to put her in lighter colors. And I don't think Black women should have to act more docile for anybody. And I'll stand by that. I'm just loosely basing her style off of my best friend throughout school. We were super close. And Deja, if you're watching this, hi. Message me on Tumblr about how it's going. Let me know how you're doing. And part of the reason I'm basing this loosely off my friend is her nickname in high school was actually Bunny. Don't worry, I plan to go over those hands with a palm color later, because I know that is a common criticism is people don't accurately do palms on black hands correctly. Okay. Finish up that lip. little more depth to her character. And this is just a me thing. I like drawing characters with freckles, so I'm going to that's just to add some more bunny attributes to her. If you're gonna name a character Bunny, have them embody a bunny a bit. Oh yeah, she's looking real cute. Now for her eyes. I was gonna say hair, but I'm not quite ready for that step yet. Oh, wrong layer. Let's do some gorgeous deep brown, practically red eyes. Actually, I'm gonna go like far red into that needs to be a bit more red. There we go. Get some highlights in there. Oh yeah, she cute. Get the whites of her eyes in. Just for anybody watching, if you're like, hopefully you don't think you found a person of color, because I am not one. I just like drawing them because I find the females lovely. I mean, you can barely see the freckles, but they make all the difference to me. Now for her gorgeous locks. Nope, those need to be richer. There we go. That's about the color we're wanting. Shade in your brows. White spots in your eye. Clean up your hairline. If I were to make a Sailor Moon live action movie and cast it, for sure, African Japanese, like somebody of African and Japanese descent, if I couldn't find a English speaking actor. Like ideally they would be like African Japanese, like either their parents were or they themselves are the direct line. Because Have you seen this hair? Yes, queen. Going for my little cheat. Because I don't trust myself. Like, I know you can barely see it, but I don't care. Now for detailing. Details, darling, details. So, what different ethnicities would you make the other Senshi? I have ideas for them, but none of them are set in stone. So I am open to suggestion. Not just suggestion on ethnicities. Like, something I know I would want to do is, I think, whoop, that did not go well. I mean, my sister talked about, what if the lovely feminine Jupiter was trans woman? I think it would suit her strong yet feminine aesthetic. Honestly, if I could get the money to make my own version of the Sailor Moon series, this would be the character design. We'd have a trans Mako, non-binary tuxedo mask, because I feel the need to be represented as a rose-wielding tux person. The villains would all be straight white men, because do I need to explain myself? Which character? I guess I'm just trying to have a conversation with y'all who aren't even present at the moment. Which characters do you think would be part of the LGBT community, or as I've heard it been called lately, the Alphabet Mafia, which I find hilarious? Usagi always likes pink. I want to go for more of a like lavenderish pink. Yeah. And we'll do a more pinky pink. On the sleeves. Obviously, she's just wearing a jacket over her uniform. And the only real pieces peeking out are her little chest coverage thingy right there. And her skirt. Sorry if I'm fumbling around a bit with this. I just updated clip art today, so I am not fully used to the new layout. I won't lie, part of the reason Usagi is dressed like this is because I think it's cute. Color steals. Those. Okay. Sorry, when I get into shading, I often will just like zone out and I don't know what really to say. There we go. And we're going to add highlights on our girls. Going to do a yellow highlight. On the east side. For anyone wondering, yes, this is how I if you ever wonder how I get certain shading on characters, you're looking. Oop, nope. Nope. Oh, really blowing my girl out. Something like that may work. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Add my little signature with the one common color out of the lovely ladies. For anybody wondering what this is, it's a butterfly with the initials of my pen name, Hesnite Angel, as well as my actual name. Her legs are getting cut off. So, you can tell me which one you prefer. The keeping with the original stuff, and then we'll call it our modern reboot. So we've got our redone reboot, our crystal redo, and our modern reboot. Personally, just because of personal preference, and I love her little freckles and everything, and the red eyes, I would love to see a series with this Usagi. And again, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, I probably did, but glossed over it. If she were to transform to Sailor Moon, I would definitely have her hair turn white. So it'd be A, harder to tell who she was, and she'd also be wearing a mask, and B, it would just look cute. Not that her hair now isn't cute, but look at her, she's adorable. Well, now that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed this little thing. And subscribe, like, whatever I'm supposed to say to gain things to, I hope you like art, and I hope you do what you want today, and I hope 2021 doesn't suck as much as 2020. Bye!